Welcome to the KDFL Dynasty Football Podcast. It's me, Brett Steele, and joining me, what is this, the third consecutive week? Mr.
Third
Jonathan
consecutive
Detroit
week.
Haynes.
Yes, and I'm sick, but I'm still here because
Ladies and gentlemen,
the people
this
need it.
is the Detroit Haynes flu game. Move over, Michael.
That's right. The people need me, so I'm here. I have to make the fans happy.
Give them what they want. I've been told that I've been in contacts with the Zenful One's lawyers and agents that he's close to ending his holdout. And next week,
Nice.
as part of us being so thankful for him, he will rejoin us for our Thanksgiving episode.
Sweet.
That's the hope. If we can come to the right terms, he's
Ouch.
a very, very demanding individual, as we know.
Ooh, Matthew? I don't see that.
Hey, the path to sinfulness is not quick, and it takes a while. And I think we're almost there.
Yeah,
He might rejoin us
no.
for week 12 or week 13.
Awesome. Awesome
But
news.
as we always say, before we get into week 12, we must give the rundown of what happened in the KDFL week 11, the last week of non divisional games. Detroit, take us away.
Yes, we start out with Matthew's Nakatees and Masters taking on the St. Albans Sinners. Both of these teams are trying to tank. Well, no, they're not trying to tank. One team isn't doing it on purpose. As we saw this week, it looks like there might have been some shenanigans going on in St. Albans. Oops, did I say that out loud? Anyways, Nakati heads north. They come in, and all of a sudden, the Nakati Zen Masters have turned into tight end university over there. Taysom Hill, 42 points. Brock Bowers, 31 points. Look at his bench. He even has Will Disley, 18 points. And he's got Dalton Kincaid on the IR. When did this man get all these tight ends? That's what I want to know. Anyways, he gets 19 from Drake May. St. Albans Sinners, they barely even had enough players to fill a roster this week. There was a lot of talk in the old Discord chat this week. We had players that getting 0 points, starting players that were out. I don't know, but it wouldn't have mattered anyways. The Zen Masters put up 267. I don't even know. That might have been the highest for
This
them
is
this year. Yeah.
maybe it's close.
Anyways, St. Albans Sinners 168, a 99 point victory for the Zen Masters.
All right, next we go to Melbourne, where my beat down and vacationing mega powers take on the absolutely on fire Roxlana Renegades. And despite Frank Levu starting me off with 22 points on Thursday night, this one was over the second the Lions kicked off that game in Detroit versus the Jaguars, as you have Jared Goff going off for 39 points, leading all scorers. Tua Tagovailoa does what he can in the revenge game against the Renegades with 27 of his own. Not enough, because what happens next? Joe Mixon, 3 tutties on Monday Night Football to get his season high of 35. Jackson Smith and Jigba continues to play well for the Mega Powers with 23, but that lovable combo of Goff and Stafford strike against Stafford pours in 32 of his own. And this was a beatdown from the word go as the Renegades poured on the Mega Powers 297 to 176. Yikes.
Ooh. Next, we have the Cross Vegas Gamblers heading to Hurricane to take on the
What was Why did you do Hurricane
Whoop-a-scat.
that way?
I don't know.
What was
Anyways, the Gamblers, they're fighting for the old lottery again this year. As
Fighting
Hurricane, they're
hard.
trying to stay in the playoff race. They came in 5-5, trying to get over the 500 mark. They got big game from Justin Herbert, 27 points. Amon-Ra St. Brown, the number 2 fantasy wide receiver right now with 39. They put up a whopping 268. The Gamblers, I have to stop right here for a second. I'm a
I know who
man.
this is about.
Okay, when I admit I'm wrong, I admit it. Okay, I was
I bet you
wrong.
do.
Nick, you were right. Bo Nix, I think he might be a good quarterback. He's proven me wrong. 33 points this week. Unfortunately for you, that's about all you had this week. You only put up 176, but I still have to say I'm sorry. I apologize, and you know how hard it is for me to apologize to you. Hurricane takes the win, 268 to 176.
That's the best Detroit apology. All right, we'll roll with that Detroit apology right into his very own Elkview River Reds game versus the 5-5 Midnight Riders. Jamison Williams leads all scorers in this one with 23. Bernard for the Midnight Riders, a defensive leading scorer. You know, that's already a red flag when that happens typically. He has 24. Christian Watson catches 4 deep balls for 21 of his own. Tyreek Hill, a little bit better week for him for the Midnight Riders with 19. Jordan Love pours in 20 as well. And old man Aaron Rodgers with a sad get your GM, who I loved, fired, 18 points. And the Midnight Riders are a little bit reeling right now as the River Rats get their third victory of the year, winning 209 to 201.
Woo, nice. Next up, we have the KDFL favorite at the beginning of the year, the Kanawha County Kings coming in at 6-4, taking on the 5-5 Wake Forest Lumberjacks. This one was a dandy, people. This came down to the wire. Yeah, it's a nice word by me, wasn't it? Brees Hall scored 31 points for the Kings. Brock Purdy with 18, Lamar with only 15. For the Lumberjacks, pretty strong showing from a few of his players. Jameis Winston with 29 points.
I still no clue what you were doing.
That's because you're not paying attention.
I saw it.
25 points. Derek, I'm just above average quarterback Carr, 21 points. And that was enough as the Lumberjacks pull off the upset 263 to 261. And the Lumberjacks are now sitting at the number 6 seed.
6-5. Stat correction watch for the Kings for what seems to be the third or fourth time this year already. Speaking of close games, we have our second straight game of the week that lived up to the hype. Let's go to South Hills where the Dogtown Dobermans are being hosted by the Evil Commission's Evil Empire. Saquon Barkley on Thursday night, again, just lights up the scoreboard with 34. Joe Burrow continues his could be MVP if the Bengals were better. That's what some are saying. I hear the rumblings. He scores 32. Somehow, Chris Boswell, and this is the second time he's done it, I remember distinctly because the first one was against my beloved Falcons. 24 points on 6 of 6 field goals. Absolutely ridiculous.
Wow.
Cooper Kupp with 29. Josh Allen continues his respectful games with 24. And Jamar Chase. This is going to be an interesting dynamic to talk about later in the show. He scores 27, and this one is as well on a stat correction watch. It's early Thursday morning. You can tell the sun's not even up yet. Me and Detroit are out here really early. So the stat corrections haven't gone through yet. By the time this makes it to air, we could have 2 different outcomes on the last 2 games. Who knows? But as for now, the Evil Empire improved to 10-1 as they beat the Dobermans 268 to 265. And that is it for your KDFL Week 11 results.
Nice. Couple really close games there.
Really close games. Let me look at something real quick. We can transition to this. We could talk about the game of the week, but real quick, the last time the Kings played I guess they didn't. I had it in my mind that they played the Lumberjacks earlier. Obviously, they didn't. They're not division. The Kings have a loss by 9. Is that really it? Is that the only close one? I'm making crap up. A loss by 9, a loss by 3. The last 2 weeks have been a combined loss of 5 points, which is kind of ridiculous considering average scores are in the 220s to 230s. So it's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, NFL. I know we are spending a lot of time. It was an absolute dismantling of the Jaguars by the Lions. There's not really much to say. It just happened exactly like what you thought would happen.
I mean, I pulled up that stat that I sent with you guys in Discord about they haven't punted against them since 2016. Granted, they only play them like every 3 years or something, but still.
They only played them twice because it would make sense that they played them in 2020.
Probably.
I feel like the years are intense, but you're only guaranteed to play an AFC team every 4 years.
But I was just there a couple years ago when they played them.
Okay, so they probably played 3 times since that.
It's been 3 times then.
That's nuts. Not to punt in 3 games. Though.
Yeah,
not to punt in 2 games is nuts.
This Lions offense, and they didn't even have Laporta in that game, so they just strike it I mean, they can hit you anywhere.
Have we kind of? I mean, I guess like has that kind of weakened? Like, are we over Laporte? Like
Well,
Laporte is great, but are
yeah,
we? We're
yeah.
not
I
like
mean,
dying for Laporte, are
I
we?
I think what happened, I honestly believe, and I
Touchdown
mean, it was
regression.
no, it was known he
Jamison
was hurt.
Williams.
He was hurt when the season started.
Okay.
He's been hurt. He's been playing with a bad ankle. So, but I
I
mean,
feel like I feel like it's a perfect storm of his touchdowns aren't there,
yeah,
Jamison Williams, and he's been hurt.
yeah, that's true. I mean, they got so many guys. So,
Tight end 15 on the year.
I mean, that's still
He's
decent.
averaging 10. It's fine. It's just the touchdown. Like
Yeah,
if he has, I mean, I don't want to pull it up, but if he has two more touchdowns, he's probably tight end 10. Like
yeah,
it's usually that close in that position.
yeah.
Um,
St. Brown just scoring every single week.
every single time, him and Montgomery, it's ridiculous. Like, you
Yeah.
wonder what the odds like now? They're probably not that good, but if you
Uh,
parlayed that most games,
I'm I just want them to get that number one seed. Philly's one game behind them, but the Lions do still have some tough games, I think. Buffalo comes to town in 3 weeks.
that's
That's
the
gonna be a
big one,
great
right?
game.
Let's see. Let's see the
Yeah.
remaining schedule.
I mean, the
Remaining
next,
schedule. Why is it? Did he not? Oh, Laporte didn't play.
I
We were
know,
sitting here literally talking about. I was like, well, they don't have the Jaguars score. All right, at Indy, you would hope that
yeah,
they could take care of business. They do have tough games. Chicago, not too bad. Should be able to handle that on Thanksgiving. But divisional games, you never know. Green Bay at home, again, divisional game. Buffalo, that's tough. At Chicago, and then at San Fran and Minnesota, those two endings are
yeah.
interesting.
And we never play good in San Francisco. I
But
know they're
three out
beat
of
up.
seven tough games,
Yeah.
and then divisional games, three divisional games. So it is
I know
kind of
that, and I know the Eagles still have the Ravens and I think the Steelers on their schedule. So,
who has
but I'm telling you right now, people, if we get the number one seed or even whatever, if we get the NFC Championship game and if we're actually playing, obviously we'd have to win our first game. I will be there. I don't care if I'm
you
paying
got to
them
be.
$700 or 1,000. I don't care. I'm
You
there.
got to
I've
be
already
there.
told Lisa I'm going because there's no way I'll be able to afford to go to the Super Bowl. It'd be 10 grand. So
I've always thought about that, like going to the Super Bowl. Like me and Matt always talked about if the Raiders Falcons played in the Super Bowl, we have to go, and I do think we'd have to go. But one of us is going to leave there. Like it's going to be two different
yeah,
emotions. They're very tough.
I already looked to see how much tickets were. The cheapest ones you could get right now was almost 6 grand. And if the Lions go, I mean,
It's in New
that
Orleans, right?
fan base, yeah, it's in New Orleans.
So yeah, I would
That
love the
fan
Falcons
base,
to be able to do that. Would be
yeah.
oh.
But anyways, we can. I'm sure the people are tired of me talking about the Lions. So
I mean, when have you ever been able to talk about like the Lion? I thought about this too. The Lions are Super Bowl favorites for the first time. I'm going to say almost in
ever,
history.
yeah, guarantee it.
Okay, I'm trying to think back through the KDFL's favorite teams. Um, the Falcons have never probably been regular season betting favorites to win the Super Bowl. There's almost no chance. And in the two Super Bowls they were in, they were dogs. So there's
Yeah,
no chance. I would cast them out. Cowboys obviously have probably been, um, in the
San
90s, whatever.
Francisco,
San
San
Francisco probably
Francisco.
has been. Well, yeah, of course, especially if you focus on the 90s when all you all became fans, you herbs. All right, next.
Boston's
The
Patriots.
Raiders, the Patriots have the Raiders. I don't know. I don't know about the 80s, but I'm not counting. I'm knocking 90s on. The
Yeah,
Raiders have not been. They favorites against. They were not right against the Bucks. But even still, they
no,
weren't
I
probably
don't think they
favorites
were.
during the regular season.
No,
I'm talking about regular season. My team
I
has
know
the
what you're
best odds to
talking.
win. Yeah, so I don't think they were even if they were. I don't think they were
Oh,
against the
I'm
Bucks
sure we're
either.
gonna get fact checked on this.
But I don't
So
think they were. Anybody's gonna know. You're gonna presume the Packers have been. I'd be certain of that. Um, what am I missing? Vikings has not.
What about
Vikings have never
Matt's
been.
six teams?
The Vikings have never been. The Jaguars most certainly have never been.
Well, he's
The
got a new favorite team.
Saints. The Steelers probably have been.
Yeah, the Steelers definitely have been.
The Saints, I don't know because were they better odds than the Colts that year?
No, I
I
weren't
don't
the
remember
Colts the
and the
favorites.
Patriots because remember the Patriots as well. Yeah, but still
Yeah,
during the regular season you could get
yeah, that's true.
because like if the Lions play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl right now, the line is probably going to be Chiefs -3. I feel like,
Mm,
even though the
yeah,
Lions
yeah,
are the better regular season odds, because the
yeah,
idea being you have an easier path to get there and getting there is half the battle.
true.
I don't know. I could be wrong about that line. The Chiefs have looked bad. The Lions look incredible, but I just know
And it's still
if
the
I had to
Chiefs.
guess what that line would be exactly.
Yeah.
Um, that's crazy talk. We're getting way for me and you to be talking like that is kind of nuts. So
Yeah,
let's reel this
it
back
is
in.
nuts.
Um, Falcons suck. I'm so happy for the bye. Let's get to the bye. That was awful. That was embarrassing. Like that was a total beatdown, and it was hidden by the fact that the Bills were playing the Chiefs, so nobody really cared about it. And the
You're
Niners were getting upset by the Seahawks. Thank God. But I would be a little leery on like Bo Nix. Like we make rookie quarterbacks look phenomenal. You have no pass rush. You have all day to throw. We
yeah,
made Will Levis look phenomenal. Don't forget that last year. We made Will
true.
Levis look like he was the next second coming. Um, the only thing I'm worried about, I'm seeing for the first time, like Matt Ryan was asked this on the national show. Is it time to bench Kirk? What? Like I was like, wait a minute. Like
No.
that's not close, right? I wouldn't hope.
Aren't you guys like, are you guys
We're
first
six
still?
and five. Yeah, we're in first. Like we've
Yeah,
had two rough
no.
games. We shouldn't have lost to the Saints because we were missing kicks. You know, Cousins has looked bad, and it does appear to point to a lot of lack of mobility is the main issue. Like he's got the arm, he's got the decision making, all that's good, but the lack of
Yeah.
mobility and Penix can move. And when Penix has come in, but it's been in mop up duty these last games. He's looked good. He has looked good, but I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
I was like, we're not really doing
no.
this. Are we really
No.
talking about this?
You could sit there and question, be like, all right, I know we're not playing at great level, but we're still in first place. We
The
can't.
question is the Alex Smith Mahomes comparison. I'm
Uh,
not calling Penix
uh,
Mahomes. I
I know.
I'm not calling. I'm not even. I don't know if I could call Cousins Alex Smith when Alex Smith was with the Chiefs because he was rolling with the Chiefs. But he's probably better than Alex Smith with the Chiefs. Um, but it's the idea like it looks like when he comes in that he's got more energy, more juice. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But I'm I'm not even close to that person. What else we got? Niners full
Uh,
panic.
man, I feel like I bring that up every time I'm on the show. Is it time for the Niners to get a little worried? I think we know what our buddy, the Evil Commish, feels. He thinks they're pretty much done.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I was
he,
gonna say. I didn't know what you were gonna say. Yeah.
they they got the Bills still. What was their? Oh, they're at Green
That's the
Bay, then they're
problem. They
at
still got the
and then they're
first
at
place schedule.
Buffalo. Yeah, at Green Bay, at Buffalo, and then they got the Lions coming later on. So those are three really tough games.
What do you think that every time we've checked on this, it's been around plus 100 the last few weeks. This is my favorite bet that I'm monitoring now. The Niners to win the division. What do you think it is now?
To win the division?
Yeah, it was plus 300 or plus one. It was like plus 100 minus 100.
Well, I know they're like terrible with division records, so it's got to be up there now. I'm gonna go plus 350.
That's exactly right.
Really?
Yep, plus 350.
Nice.
I incepted you with when I
That's true,
accidentally
you
said plus
did.
300.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. So I still love it. The Cardinals are minus 130. You about it? The Cardinals with the pew pew gun guy? No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I love it now. I love it now. Plus 350. It's like what people say. If you loved it at minus 100, you have to love it at plus 350. That might be
Yeah, but
worth a sprinkle.
if you look at the NFC right now, I know Minnesota's only 8-2. They're technically, I mean, actually, they're 2 games back because the Lions have beat them. Uh, I still think it's Lions Eagles right now. That can change, obviously. Injuries, teams getting healthy. But I think it's like,
My worry with the Niners, you have to have the Niners up around her because they've been leading
right.
class.
Oh,
But if Trent Williams is out here hobbling around and this is my biggest red flag. I don't care about Ayuk. I don't care about that. Is what I worry about. That is the heart and soul
yeah,
of that team.
yeah. No, no, I'm not saying that I think the Niners are trash or anything. They scare me to death because we've seen what they can do the last
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 years, whatever. I just meant if you're looking right now, those two teams would probably be the top of the NFC, wouldn't you say?
Okay.
Like,
All right. What do you think about the Cowboys rumors of Shador and Dion as a package deal?
yeah, gosh.
That seems so far fetched,
Uh,
but they're in a
uh,
crazy situation, and that would be the spark.
yeah. I mean, go for it, but didn't they just give Dak a ton of money?
Yeah, but it's not real. I don't. I'm
Yeah, I
sure it
mean, I
is
know
real.
that. What do you
I don't
do? I
know
mean, do
who.
you just keep Dak, try to trade him?
You send Dak
I
to
don't
Las
know. They
Vegas.
obviously they got to get rid of Mike McCarthy. I mean, that's
Yeah, but that.
obvious.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's sad times there in Dallas.
It's
Sad,
rare that you see
sad.
them. Usually they ride the 500 line, so it's rare that you see them
Yeah,
like this.
yeah.
Put Trey in. Gotta give him a
That's
chance.
right. All right,
We
before we
say
just get
that, like we do say, like put Trey in. You know, see what you got. You trade a fourth, but we act like there's not like 52 other grown men careers and
right.
livelihoods on the line if you just make the move from Cooper Rush to Trey Lance. Like there's other things we just talk about from fantasy, but
All right, before we move off the NFL, we got to talk about that Sunday night game.
all right.
Chargers and Bengals.
Okay.
Herbert and Burrow. Herbert finally has a coach. Is this the Chargers starting to, or this, I mean, Herbert starting to make his way up there as
All right. I mean,
elite?
this is the guy that was up there and then went back down and now is
Right.
trying to come back. Because remember, this was the
But they made that
if you're
they
gonna
made that
crown
point
him.
they made that point on the game. I think it was Collinsworth was saying like there is no more Keenan Allen, there is no more Eckler, there is no more Mike Williams. It's all new weapons.
Yeah. I do remember the weapons argument
So
that he had awesome weapons. Now he does not.
no, and
All
he's
right.
starting to. I mean,
Fantasy wise, he's QB 12, so he's not.
well, I'm not really even talking
But
about
the thing
fantasy,
is,
even
he
though I know
wasn't
this is
lighting it on fire, but his last four games 26, 21, 21, 26. That's better. That's good. That's solid. That's top eight QB all day long, if not better.
look at his touchdowns and interceptions for the. I mean, he doesn't have like
He has one interception on the
crazy,
year.
crazy numbers.
He has one interception. He has, let's see, four, do math on screen, five. No, that's three. 12.
He's
12 and one. But it was a
no,
ground and pound team
it's
at first.
13 and one. But
I tell you,
anyways,
don't do math on the screen. Um, I don't know what to
but
like. I like it.
yeah, I do
I
too.
have
I
a
mean,
problem with non-vocal quarterbacks. Just let me be honest. Eli, Daniel Jones, like like rah vocal get in your face quarterbacks. I don't trust them as leaders.
well, here's what I was trying to get at is he's not the Herbert that had to sling it like
Right?
before Harbaugh got there. Now he's 17 in yards thrown right now. Of course, he has one less game than on probably about half the quarterbacks in front of him, but still, they're not like a throw first team. So maybe it just took the right coach to get in that situation and put him in the best situation.
They have a tough schedule coming up as well. Let me see because I've looked at this. Baltimore next on Monday night.
Yeah.
It's either Monday or it must be Monday because I just said Sunday.
Baltimore's
The
defense is
Fal
trash,
the
though.
Falcons in Atlanta. They're similar to when the Falcons play the Lions. Some crazy shit always happens. I
Yeah.
don't know where it'll be. Some nonsense. Last year we had Eckler fumble in the 20. We were returning the fumble and we
Yeah.
fumbled and they got it back and won. Like it's so ridiculous. Okay, so that's a tough game for them. I don't care. I still believe it's a tough game. All right. Coming to the A. All right. God, don't clip that. Then you got at Kansas City, Sunday Night Football. That's tough. Tampa Bay has been tough. Denver has been tough. And
Yeah.
then New England and then Vegas. So they do have a 5 game stretch here, which is not going to be easy.
Yeah. All right. Well, then the other guy on the other team has been amazing this year. Absolutely amazing. 27 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, leads the league in passing. But yet his team is what,
You
four
know,
and
I've got,
seven?
I don't want to do this, right? I don't want to poo poo it because it's been impressive. But I talked about this in the Discord. How good is their defense? It's terrible, right?
Right.
It's awful.
Right.
It is a factor in why his stats are so ridiculous.
I know we had my co-owner tried to disagree with you on that. I saw the
Well,
little
hey, I think, but he thought I was talking about garbage time, and that's not what I mean because they're in these games. He's not just loading up stats in the fourth quarter. They're in these games, but he has to press, and he knows he has to press.
Yeah, but he's still throwing more pass
Now the
attempts than anybody
INTs, the
else.
low INT, the
Yeah,
TD to INT ratio, I can't. There's no
that's
knocking
what I was
that.
going to talk
He's very,
about.
very impressive. I'm just saying it's a factor. I'm probably just speaking into the wind for my own, to hear
Yeah.
myself talk, which it's Might sound like me, but whatever.
That's
But
shocking.
but it's impressive.
Yeah.
But
All
you know
right.
how they
Well,
factor in wins,
I
QB
wanted to talk.
stats
I
or
definitely wanted to
wins.
talk about that game because it was pretty cool.
Okay, we're saving things up for the Zenful one because I got one thing I want to talk to. I got two topics I want to talk to him about, and we'll get to that next week.
Please, please don't
Yeah,
say Trevor Lawrence and Derek Carr. Don't say it.
no, they'll probably
Okay.
factor in though to the conversation.
Okay.
All right, are you ready?
Well, let me. Oh yeah, I'm ready.
All right, KDFL week 11. Let's throw it up on the big board real quick. Our results as of right now, this beautiful Thursday dark morning. Detroit went 3-3. Matt went 2-4. I also went 3-3. Me and Detroit had identical picks. So Detroit gets back or stays at 500 with 33-33. Matt drops a game to me at 42-24, and I am 43-23. NFL side, Detroit has his first in a long time double losing week.
Yeah,
The
it's
Niners, of
terrible.
course, did not cover 6.5, and Chicago and Green Bay scored, I think, 39.
Yeah, it
Either they
was like
scored 39 or 40, and the over was 40 and a
yeah,
half.
because that
Matt
block
hit
kick.
Matt hit Baltimore plus or Pittsburgh plus 3 versus Baltimore. He did not hit the under on the Jags and the Lions at 46.5. As
Man,
Detroit took care of that one all on their own. And then my theory, the Dolphins beat up bad teams covered. And the I don't know how this game gets over, but it does. The Rams and the Patriots go over 43.5. So Detroit still leads at 13-9. Matt's at 12-10, and I am at 10-12 with the goal to get above 500 before the season ends. All right, back to
yes.
us now. And let me go ahead and get all this situated for us here.
Oh man, I'm already looking at this first matchup and it's already making me mad.
Look, I got something to say about the first matchup. I got notes. I got some notes here from the Zenful one.
Okay.
This one here, and let me know when you can see what we have going on the screen.
It's up.
It's up. Let me get my other screen going here. All right. All right. First matchup. We have the 3-8 Sinners taking on the 3-8 Gamblers. The only note from the Zenful one is please cancel this game. I equate it
Yes.
to the when wrestling would have the pay-per-views and you'd have the 30-minute free for all before that would be at the top of the TV Guide channel when you're trying to get you to order the pay-per-view. That is where
Yes.
this game would reside.
Oh.
Um,
Well,
but we do
I'm
still
sorry.
have to pick. We don't really have to go deep into the matchups. You take
No.
about one thing you want to see. Real quick though, I do have to give him props. I do have a note from the desk of Sinners GM right here. He said, "I want you to do me a favor and hit on this on the podcast." So I have done it. Let me give you some numbers. Okay, Detroit, this is for week 11 performances. All right,
Okay.
take these
Okay.
numbers in.
All right, I'm
Russell
taking them in.
Wilson, 5.3 points. TJ Watt, 10.5. DeAndre Hopkins, 5.9. Kirk Cousins, 3.92. Aaron Jones, 5.3. Aluakon, 12.0. Wagner, 11.0. Terry McLaurin, 2.0. That's a total of rounded up 56 points among 8 players for 7 points per player. I did the math for him and the stat point because he's obviously too lazy to do that on his own. So I did that part for him. You know what those players represent?
The players he traded?
Those are the players that the Sinners in the last few weeks, 2, 3 weeks, have traded away to begin their
Nice.
rebuild. So, in true disgusting fashion, he is spiking the football in our faces.
Well,
Basically, he robbed us blind.
I'm gonna spike the ball in his face if he doesn't pick up some people and fill out his bench because he's got 6 people in his lineup that aren't even playing. I don't want to do this again this week. LJ, get it together.
It's
All right.
Thursday morning. You only got 8 hours.
Yes, exactly. I mean, look at all those empty bench spots on this team.
It's disgusting. Personally,
Yeah,
I'm personally offended.
I am too. I mean, we're about integrity in this league, and
We are, as us two are
it's
beacons of integrity.
exactly. So with that said, it's hard for me to even look at these two teams without throwing up in my mouth.
I love it.
With that being said, because the Senators are secretly, but not really secretly, trying to tank, I'm gonna go with the Gamblers this week. I'm a believer in Bo. I believe
Believe in
in
Bo.
Bo. So I'm taking the
Um,
Gamblers.
I don't really care about anything that the Senators have going on. Keep an eye on Darnold. He is pumpkining. I want to see what this, you know, if this is more for NFL purposes because this could get serious if he continues to struggle. On the other side, I mean, it really is all Bo Nix all the time at the moment. And he's got Vegas
Right.
next, another bad defense to go up against. See if he can keep it rolling. I believe he will. I am going to go with the Gamblers as well. All right, next, let's go to Wake Forest. This is a big one. The division matchups are here now. I did just mention Russell Wilson because this was the reason why the Dobermans traded for Russell Wilson, even despite having Josh Burrow. Nope, Joe Burrow and Josh Allen. Despite having them, this is why he made that trade because of this very week. Those two are on bye. So the Lumberjacks get a crippled because that is as much as the team identifies with a player, the Dobermans are those two QBs and Christian McCaffrey. So that is a huge loss for them. So take it away, Detroit. What are we looking at on this?
Yeah, right now the point spread's about 2 points. Uh,
I need to
Gross.
refresh. I just pulled it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have 4 points.
Maybe I can't add.
What do you are you an accountant?
Oh, yeah, it is four
Most
points.
certainly
My
is
bad.
4 points.
Yes, my bad. Still don't feel good, people. I saw that as
The NyQuil.
226. 226. Trust me, I've been
He's
drinking the
on
old
the
NyQuil.
sauce.
I am, if you could see my eyes.
Yes.
Anyways, um, I don't like a lot of these matchups for the Dobermans. Lumberjacks. I mean, you got Jameis out there. I mean, that guy's he's gonna throw up 500 yards, but 7 interceptions this week or something. I don't know. You never know with that guy. I just like his like receivers and tight ends in this week. So with that, I really like your team. I'm sorry, I really like the Dobermans, but I'm gonna go with the Lumberjacks.
All right, Lumberjacks. This is a tough one for me. I'm very worried about. I said it last week. I'll say it again. The Colts wide receivers scare me. He Anthony Richardson was better this past week. I mean, Josh Downs lights it up for 23 points. Michael Pittman did not. I think he had around 10. He did not have a huge game. Yeah, 9.6. Look at that memory. No big deal. Um, you know what? Give me the Dobermans. I'm gonna take the Dobermans as well. Um,
As well, I didn't take them.
oh, the Zipper one took the Dobermans.
Okay.
Sorry. Supposed to mention off the top. Um, yeah, give me the Dobermans, the Lumberjacks. It's like the team we don't trust right now. We're going with Jameis Winston and Bryce Young. I mean, I mean, does Russell Wilson and Javante Williams outscore Jameis Winston and Bryce Young? I think it's possible.
That's true. Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking about no Joe Burrow, no Josh Allen, not
Right,
even
right,
putting that together.
right.
Yeah,
All right.
so
But I
I
mean,
made
we're
my
getting late
pick.
in the season, brother. You're gonna have to take some risk anyway. Not that this is a risk. I mean,
Yeah.
they're favored right now, but you know what I'm saying. All right. Next, let's go. This is a big one. Not really. The Zen Masters.
It's definitely big for the Midnight Riders.
All these games are big, so I'm gonna overreact like I'm seeing them for the first time because I don't. It's been a little bit since I've looked at the show order or the game order, but we're in the division weeks, so most of these games are going to be humongous uh, implications. So the 3-2 Nakatis and Masters coming off a big week, taking on the 5-6 Midnight Riders coming off a slower week. Detroit, take it away.
Yeah, sorry. Didn't mean to yawn on the people.
I love it.
Like I said, the Zen Masters, their tight ends have been looking nice. He has a nice little core going there. Drake May, I've been watching him a little bit the last couple weeks. Yes, he's only the 26th ranked fantasy quarterback, but I like this kid. So I think the Zen Masters are on the right path. But unfortunately, I think the Midnight Riders are going to show up this week, unlike last week. Mahomes is going to get some points against Carolina, but it's always one of those situations where they get up by a lot and then yank him out. I still think he'll rack up a bunch of points. And I think Baker Mayfield's going to have a big game this week. So I'm going to take the Midnight Riders.
Yeah. I don't like a lot of the Midnight Riders matchups. The running back situation is starting to rear its head a little bit, but Brock and not having Taysom Hill this week is a big deal to me because he was that wild card, and the Saints seem to be relying on him more and more. What I want to see Caleb Williams in week 2 of this offense. I want to see him, be more consistent. He's rolling out Drake May. He's rolling out Caleb Williams. It's the rookie draft picks. It's what this team and with Trevor Lawrence is going to be built on, presumably for the next at least half decade or so. So you definitely want to watch that matchup and see it perform. On the Midnight Rider side, Tank Dell, now that Nico is back, Tank, we need you to be some form of your old self. I mean, last 2 weeks, exactly 9.8 points. Maybe 10, maybe it's one of those situations where you're better when the top guy is back. Because that is certainly a possibility. So I'm looking for Tank Dell on that. But overall, this is must win for the Midnight Riders. Like this, they would be, for all intents and purposes, almost eliminated if they lose this game. So must win. Give me the Midnight Riders with the backs against the wall. All right. The surging, unbelievably high scoring Elkview River Rats are hosting the 6-5 Wampus Cats. Wampus Cats. Did I tell you that the Zimper one also picked the Midnight Riders because he never picks his own team? It should be obvious. So there you go.
Yeah.
Take this
Yeah,
one away,
absolutely.
Detroit.
Yes, my River Rats, I believe, are coming off a 2 wins out of their last 3 weeks. Trying to make it 3 out of 4. Uh, Wampus Cats, thick of the playoff race. They come to town, and if you look at these matchups, I mean, there's check marks by everybody except 3 players. My advantages apparently are Jaden Daniels and 2 defensive backs, and that is a total unknown when it comes to that. So, um, I think the Wampus Cats are going to put a beat down on me. From looking at my squad, I'm going to kind of pay attention to that Carolina Kansas City game because Hubbard, he's been a great running back so far this year, but the Panthers are getting Jonathan, what's his name? Is it
Brooks.
Brooks? Brooks.
Yep.
He's back. I'm going to see how they're going to use him. So it should cut into his or Hubbard's points. So that's really only thing I'm looking for on my team. But like I said, I think the Wampus Cats are going to kill me this week.
All right. The Zimper one has went with, I believe it is, the Wampus Cats. Yeah, Kyler coming off a bye, getting Seattle. I'm very interested in that. And then AJ Brown getting the Rams. He's struggled a little bit since being back. No, yeah, he's not had his big game buster game like you would expect him to have in the last 4 weeks. Stays under 16 in all those weeks. River Rats. Only one thing I'm really looking at, and that is Jaden Daniels running, because I'm worried that since the rib injury, he has not ran,
Yeah.
and that is a little concerning. A lot of his points were built upon his mobility, so that is a
I
little
just need
concerning
him.
me. So,
I need him to have a couple more good weeks. That way I can win Rookie of the Year. Get that.
get that extra pick.
Get that extra pick. So
All right, give me the Wampus Cats as well. Now, big time divisional matchup here against two teams that have absolutely been rolling. The Renegades traveling to South Hills to take on the Evil Empire.
yes, the Renegades have been looking strong. They're up to 7-4. Evil Empire. Who did they lose to? Did we discuss that? I don't even know.
You really don't know?
Is it you? Is it really
It's
you?
me.
Oh, okay. No, I really didn't know that. That's awesome.
I
Set
wanted to
you up.
go 13-1.
I wanted to set you up perfectly there.
I wanted to go. I thought it was
Uh,
on purpose. I wanted
no,
to go
no.
13-1 so bad so I could do the Brock Lesnar one behind the 21-1.
Well, the previous matchup, the Evil Empire won by 76 points, but that was when the Renegades were struggling. I do like Joe Mixon going against Tennessee. David Montgomery, he just seems like he scores every week. Jared Goff, awesome. The legend Zach Bond that he got from the River Rats. So he's looking pretty good. As for the Evil Empire, the guy I like to watch or keep an eye on for them is Justin Jefferson. Is it me or does it seem like he's just not having I know he's ranked third for fantasy, but does it seem like he's a little bit off this year?
It feels like he's slowed down.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know though. It's just maybe the last
It,
2 weeks.
yeah, I guess that maybe that's
Nine
what it
and or
is.
10 and 14. And
Yeah, okay,
22
so
against Indy. I mean, it's just the last 2 weeks. But I get what you're
okay.
saying. I think we just go, oh, it's Darnold now, which is again, I've
Yeah,
talked about it a million times. We act like JJ McCarthy was going to be this gunslinger for him. But like we
yeah,
don't even know. But we
yeah.
did seem to downgrade him as soon as it was Darnold.
Okay, so maybe I'm just completely wrong on that. But
No, it's 2 weeks, so he's been under 15 points
yeah.
or 16
He
points.
also has Juwan Jennings. Is that how you say it?
Juwan Jennings, KDFL favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. That guy's been looking really good. This is a tough one to call, but I think I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna go with the Renegades this week.
The Renegades. Let me see. In looking at this one, the Zenful one has went with the Evil Empire. Let me see. Looking at this. I want to see Lab McConkey versus that Chargers, or sorry, versus the Ravens defense that has been absolutely awful, the pass defense. He has been surging lately. So I want to see that. Looking forward to a big game from him. And I don't know, man. Let's take a look at Aaron Jones versus Chicago. Aaron Jones has been struggling lately as well, I believe. I know he got hurt in Jacksonville, didn't play well last week. Yeah. So 11, 12, 12, 5. That's his last four. So nothing outstanding. Chicago's rush defense has not nearly been as good. I wish I knew the guy's name. They had a guard that has went out that was like the run stopper, and since he's went out, you have been able to run on them. So the Thank of the Bears is a great rush D. It may not be as good as you might think. But give me the Evil Empire getting the win. Now, this one's a fun one. Game of the week. This was actually real quick. Kudos to let's give a little bit of flowers to the Renegades real quick because when you brought up that score, it brought me memories of that week 3 game. And if you remember the discussion around this podcast, people feel free to go back and listen. Is it time for the Renegades to pack it in? Are they on death's door right now? It really was because this was their big loss. They got killed. But ever since then, I think maybe stumbled 1 or 2 more weeks and then they were off to the races.
Yep.
So very much props to the Renegades. Now, here we are, baby. The 6-5 Melbourne Mega Powers taking on the 6-5 Kanawha County Kings. It is a 1.8 point spread with the lineups that we have in there right now. I know that this is not the case. This is not only the case for these two teams, but besides the obvious team of the Evil Empire and surely the Durbans, they're already at 9. These two teams completely control their own destiny. I know that. Okay, let's say it like this. I know this for a fact. These are the only two teams that control their own destiny in the same division.
Okay,
Could make
makes
that. I
sense.
don't think the Lumberjacks can still catch the Durbans. I could be wrong too. I'm just spitting right now. I know for a fact that these two teams
Okay.
control their own destiny. They went out, they'll
Yes.
win the division. It's a fact. All right.
Alrighty.
Tough game. Take it away.
Yes, right now the Kings are the number 3 seed, and you're just sitting outside as the number 7 seed.
Mhm.
And he beat you by 9 earlier in the year. Now, if you beat him and then you guys end up tied, does it go to most points? Is that
It
how it
goes to most
goes?
points, which this last week where the Mega Powers sucked. And I made it real quick, little caveat, huge mistake. Though we talked all the time about how the Renegades were going to put up a ton of points. We knew that was coming with Melbourne. We knew it because of the Jaguars and how lines heavy they are. And,
Oh.
their team was just set up for success and they delivered. Why in the world, once I get the notification that Anthony Richardson is starting, Kirk Cousins isn't going to do anything in Denver versus that defense. He's not going to do anything spectacular. He's going to get you 15 to 20 at best. Why you don't take the gamble on Anthony
Uh,
Richardson to go off? And I mean, it looks easier to
yeah.
say in hindsight right now, but that was fantasy
Right.
cowardice on my part
Yeah,
to
I
not
just
go for
figured
the
out
moon.
you are 94 points behind
Yeah, well,
him.
it's 3 weeks.
So,
That can
yeah,
be made up, but that's a problem.
yeah, yeah. All right. Anyways, sorry, I didn't mean to get you off on a little.
No, I meant to hit on that. I'm glad you said that.
Okay. This week you got Tua going against New England. I don't know. How's Tua been for you?
Tua has had one bad game and one great game, and that great game just happened. He
Oh, okay.
had
Well,
9 points and then 27.
all righty. I do like Kate Otten that you have. Um, I think Baker has like throwing him the ball. It's like his little, whenever he just needs a catch, it seems like he's been going to him. I don't know if that's going to make a difference now that Mike Evans is back.
They should be
Um,
on separate parts of the field, but yes, I would prefer Mike
okay.
Evans not be back.
For multiple reasons too, right?
By the way, another football. I don't know what the asking price was. It was probably ridiculous, knowing the centers, but it is a huge miss for no continue to trade for Mike Evans.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think.
For the Kings, Lamar, going against the Chargers, I think he should have a pretty decent game. Last week was a bit of a disappointment, but he was playing in Pittsburgh. So these matchups, man, he's got a lot of Q's next to some of his players over there. But I'm going to go with your mega powers. I probably should
Oh
have bet
God,
against you
bless.
because I know you wouldn't pick against your team. But I'm going to go with the mega powers.
I did pick against my team last week. It was just
Oh,
such a certainty. The Zinful one has betrayed his podcast host and went with the Kings. Um, One thing I'm nervous about, Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco. I'm worried I'm going to get a half C situation, and it's going to be terrible because I won't know what to do. The start set decision I'm questioning right now, so we can have this on the record when it blows up in my face, is Rashad White or Devonta Smith. I am nervous about that,
uh,
but I don't want too much of the Bucks playing the Giants because it could be.
right.
I don't know. The Giants defense is not bad, and they won't have the Bucks offense might not have to press.
Getting Nico
Um,
Collins back is nice, though.
Nico Collins, my God, I need Nico Collins and Pacheco back so bad, but I don't
Uh,
want it to be too late. And Anthony Richardson versus Detroit, you have no clue what to expect. Like he could have 35 just as much as he could have five.
yeah.
Like he could have 30 points and the Lions win 35-7. It feels like it really is that weird with him. Like,
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be one of those games too, where it's going to be close until maybe the fourth quarter or something, and
yeah.
then the lines are going to win.
Um, I am worried about Lamar because, like I've said before, the turf in SoFi Stadium looks fast. They look faster on that turf. Lamar is going to look like 1,000 miles per hour. Now we do have some significant buys. The Kings are getting the Mega Powers on the Falcons bye week, so that means no Drake London, no Kirk Cousins, and the Mega Powers are getting the Kings on. Why is the bye week not working anymore? They're getting the Kings on the Jets bye, which means no Brees Hall. And I'm trying to see if there's anybody else a big deal that is out. I don't think
Etienne,
so. Yes, ETN. My God, how is he going to replace the 4 points a game that ETN would have gave him? I almost want ETN to be in there so he plays. All right. Um, Look at this. I got to roll. It's must win. There's still a path to get it if you lose, but it gets much tougher. The division is probably shut at that point for the Mega Powers anyway. So yeah, give me the Mega Powers, getting the win. All right, man. That's it. Stop the sharing
nice.
here for KDFL Week 12 predictions. It is division week. It is getting to crunch time. You are sick with nervousness
Yeah.
over how intense it's going to be. Um, Go ahead. This is your sign off time. Give me your picks.
Alrighty.
What do you have going on? I know that cut that off weird with
Yeah.
the syntax error, but I'm trying to get a sinful quote for us here.
Alrighty. This week I'm going to go with Matt's Pittsburgh Steelers and not the KDF Steelers because the KDFL would never agree to that. Screw the Steelers. But anyways, I am going to take Matt's Steelers -4 against Cleveland, and I'm going to take the under in the Pats Dolphins game, and that's 46.5. People, I hope you appreciate that I came out this week. As you can tell by my voice, I don't feel great. I'm sick. but I'm here. I work for you guys. So I love you all. Drink some Dr. Pepper. God bless. And Brett, you suck.
All right, let me just hit you with something. The basic principles of Zen teachings are to relax and be at utmost peace with oneself. I think this is because he's out of the playoffs. He has no NFL teams in the playoffs. So now we're going to go with this. We're going to go with this pathway here. Zen is not effort. Effort is tension. Effort is work. Effort is to achieve something. Zen is not something to achieve. You are already that. Just relax. Relax so deeply that you become a revelation to yourself. Could not have played that any better for his quote.
Wow.
All right. As far as his picks, he is going to go New England, aka Drake May for him, getting 7 points against Miami. And he is going to go with the Green Bay San Francisco game under 47. So both of you people are rooting for less points this weekend. Very, very disheartening. As for me, I love Shanahan has always had LaFleur's number. The Niners seem down. The Packers seem up. So give me Shanahan and San Francisco 49ers getting to on the road versus the Packers. And then for over-under, this was kind of tough for me this week. Give me the Titans and Will Levis slinging it versus the Texans with Nico fully back and everything over 40.5. Detroit, that's it, buddy.
Right.
Next week, we're going to have the Thanksgiving episode. We're going to have, of course, the week 11 or week 12 results. The playoff picture will become hopefully a little more clear to us. The Zinful will be back. So, for Jonathan Detroit Haynes, for the Zinful one, Matt Smith, I'm Brett Steele, and we will see you right here next week on the KDFL Dynasty Football Podcast.